You're listening to Live from the Path. We're coming to you from the Pathway Studios here in Johnston proper.
I found these chopsticks on top of the desk.
Doggone it. I heard that click in my ear, and I thought, what is going on over there?
Yeah, it's going to be...
It's chopsticking.
The Arrandale band plus Mike. I can kick the table, too, for a bass drum. I got a full kit, really.
You've been practicing over there.
Yeah, ready for action.
Yeah.
These were not good ideas. All right. My name is Ben Foose. Thanks for joining us on Live from the Path. Two quick things. If you were the person who was using obscenities for us on our Facebook reel this week, you're probably a great person, but your internet behavior is not reflecting it.
Actually, your internet behavior reflects the internet accurately.
Yeah. Actually, I didn't even know if I should respond to it, but I was doing something else. I was just sitting there at the computer, and I thought, I don't know.
To be fair, when we get razzed on the internet, Ben will usually send me what someone said, and he goes, should I respond to this? And I always say, no. Ben says, dang it.
Yeah.
And then this one, he cut a trail on his own. Like, he was apparently, no one was keeping an eye on him.
I didn't want to ask. It's just like saying, hey, wife, should I stop at the gas station on the way home? Like, I know what she's going to say, and so sometimes you just don't ask.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying.
Yeah. Okay. Here's what we got going on the show this evening. Hey, it has been many a moon since we've seen Jeff Arrandale and the band in the studio. Like pre-COVID. I don't want to say that Arrandale caused COVID, but like coincidentally,
yeah, he's back out.
He was in here, and then everything shut down. And so it's not a rumor. It's more like a statement of linear fact. Is that Jeff Arrandale happened, and then COVID happened in that order.
Well, when I was here, my voice was really shot, and looking back, it's like, wow, did I have COVID then? But I never got tested, so that means I didn't have it, right?
Mm-hmm. That's generally how all diseases work.
Yeah. Pandemics.
All right. So anyway, we're going to catch up with Jeff. We're going to see what's going on in his world. They're going to play some tunes for us this evening. And then, holy cats, the time has gotten away from us, okay? So there may be a period of which... I don't want to say we're going to kick Jeff and friends out, but he may leave unceremoniously.
Yeah. Goodbye.
And so if that happens...
Thanks for having us.
Yes. Yeah, he's pre-offended 35 minutes in advance. Okay. Anyway, that's what we got going on the show. Also, if you're familiar at all with the thrift store priest, I did have someone come up on Facebook this week, and they were asking us questions about our thrift store priest because they said that they've acquired one as well.
Really?
They did not refer to it as the thrift store priest. Mike, can you put this in your camera?
Yeah.
It's just so people have a sense of the thrift store priest in case they've not seen him. So anyway, a few different inquiries. If you want to use the Live from the Path Bob Eisler complaint line, 515-517-0085, you can do call or text one of two things. One, do you have one of these? Like, have you seen one, acquired one, or whatever? I'd like to understand a little bit of the background so I can be a better facilitator of internet conversation.
Isn't it Matthew? Is it?
You think this is Matthew right
I
now?
think it's a Catholic Catholic thing. It's a Saint Matthew.
I don't know. Why do you think that?
Wait a minute. Are the disciples saints? Does it work like that?
Yeah.
I'm not trying to be offensive. I flat out don't know.
As a matter of fact, there's a Catholic church in Altoona of which two saints are sharing the same church. I thought it was called St. John and Paul, but it's not. It's called Saints John and Paul. Like they couldn't decide on one in the committee, and so they had to. They just said, well, "Okay, we'll just take them both."
Hey, to be fair, John and Paul weren't seen together much, right? They came in, they tussled a little bit, and then Paul cut a trail. He's like, "I'm a wilderness kind of guy. I can't be hanging around in Jerusalem."
Yeah.
Anyway. Can we have a Catholic in here just to ask Catholic questions? There's so many things I don't understand.
I'll see what I can do.
All right.
I'll see what I can do. Okay. Anyway, also number 2, if you have one and you want to get rid of it,
are you talking about a Catholic still?
No. Oh, no. Listen, I don't think that's allowed. But if you have a thrift store priest and you're like, I was thinking about throwing it out, you let me know. I'll pay for the shipping. I want you to send it to me. 515-517-0085. Call or text on the Bob Eisenhower Live from the Path complaint line. You can also complain on it, which is what it's actually for, as opposed to buying third-rate wooden goods.
Yeah.
But either one. You can do either one. All right. Arrandale, what are you doing? Stop that. You're on the radio.
Sorry.
Jeff, pull yourself together.
I'm trying to get in tune. I don't know when you're going to throw it my way. So.
Okay.
Or maybe you won't now.
That's a good call. That's a good, Boova, you tune up as well. I might throw it your way. Okay. All right. So Jeff, here's the thing. Jeff and friends have been a longtime friend of the program.
Yes.
I think he has the auspicious notoriety of being the musician that's been on the show the most.
Really?
I believe that is the case, which either speaks Well, I'm not sure if it speaks highly of either one of us, but anyway, I'm glad for it.
Well, yeah.
I'm glad to see the fellas back in the studio. So let's just catch up real quick, mustard style, on with Jeff and how things have been going. So maybe fly over the summer. How was the summer for Jeff Arrandale?
Oh, the summer was great. We had lots of opportunities to play. State Fair again, great crowd, great response. Boy, we played at the where else did we play? Oh, we played at the Dallas County Fair this year, and that was fun and hot and sticky and well attended. The races were well attended, not so much when we played, but several churches. We still go around to churches and stuff. We got to go to a thing called a listening room, the Bixler 108 in Unionville, Missouri. We opened up for a country singer-songwriter. If you know what a listening room is, it's just a place that somebody has made where somebody with a small crowd, it's more intimate, and you can get up and close and personal with an artist. And so we did that, open for somebody. Booked in there for next year, next October. We get to go back if we're still alive and together. Who knows?
Nice.
Wow.
Yeah.
Hey, couple of caveats. I say the same thing, man. I said, hey, man, I'm going to go to the store on Thursday if I'm still alive.
Yeah. What an odd way to look at life.
And together.
and together. Well, I might go to the store if we're not together.
Yeah, we were at the end of the summer. Boy, what'd we do? We were down in Smithville for Nehemiah Fest again. That was our fourth time there. We got to play on the big stage there. And opened up Friday evening there, just rocked up the place. We lost a drummer, got a former drummer back. No, yeah, we lost a drummer, got a new drummer for 2.5 years. He moved away to Missouri, couldn't get far enough away soon enough. He's in Hannibal, trying to be a drummer. And then so when he moved, our prior drummer came back and just fit right in. Now he's getting ready to leave. So
it seems like a real soap opera, Arrandale.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. Yeah. Who cares, right?
So you've been doing this quite a while now.
Yeah.
What keeps you motivated to do? I mean, for those of you guys who haven't been in bands and whatever, this is not easy. Like, you're trying to shag gigs all over the place. Like, make it worth your time to go out. It's playing the show really isn't the work. It's lugging the junk in and out. It's having to practice for the thing. It's having to negotiate with the guy to show up to the place. Yeah. Sometimes it's the gas. And so there's a cost to it. Yeah. And so what keeps you guys motivated to keep playing music for the Lord in the way that you do?
Jason and I, we were talking about this on our way back from
It's the money.
Yeah, clearly.
Okay,
Yeah. Obviously. It's the greenbacks.
No, we're artists. We got a passion for music. We got a passion for doing these songs for the purpose of Christ. Our mission is we point people to Christ through music. And so any opportunity we get to do that. And, one of the things that's really rewarding was like yesterday. We were at a church yesterday morning in Newton, packed house, and the Spirit showed up, and they let us crank it up, and we got to play some extra tunes, and they had a potluck afterwards. So that's always helpful as well. So, it defrays the cost. Talking to people, meeting people, seeing old friends. We come and we see Dan about once or twice a year. Yep, you. We what else? Oh, just being an artist.
Yeah.
Just loving to write and put melodies together, to record. Got to do a little bit of that this summer with co-writes with a buddy on the north side of town here in the Des Moines area. He's got a little in-home studio, so been putting some things together in anticipation of heading back down to Nashville in early December. So excited about that. Now, I don't know about these guys. You each have about 15 seconds to tell them what motivates you.
What he said.
Yeah.
Okay. Got it. If I followed correctly, the tally was the Holy Spirit, macaroni salad, and Dan Hudson. These are the reasons. These are the reasons why people do anything.
Exactly.
Okay. Well, let's do this before we dig into any more detail. Let's have a tune. So, tell me about this first tune that you're going to play.
This first tune is called Jesus Guy, and it's really a song about how like the disciples were on the boat. And Christ was sleeping, and there was a purpose for them to be there. Or along those same lines, Jonah was running away from God, and God put him in, I'm getting them all the Bible stories mixed up. Jesus loves me, this I know, for the Bible tells me so. No, it's we get put into storms and we wonder why. And I believe that there is a purpose for each time that happens. It's to grow us. It's to draw us closer to Him. It's to fulfill the mission or cause that He has for us. The real tough part is when He doesn't let you out of the storm, and maybe it gets worse, and He tests your love for Him and your dependence on Him. So Jesus Guy is basically that's what it's about.
Okay, awesome. I'm excited. So you are listening to the Jeff Arrandale Band here on Live from the Path performing the Jesus Guy.
Jesus guy, the one who lived to die, the one who laid Him down to set us all free. And even when I'm wrecked, always asking why, He is the reason why this force came to come. We say that we love Jesus who calmed the raging sea. He is our shelter from the storm. We love the one who pushes us headlong into the storm. Then He keeps us there while the storm rages on. I know He loves me. Bible tells me so. It is my pillar of the truth. His purpose I can know. Mysteries He doesn't show. His plans I cannot improve. They say that we love Jesus who calmed the raging sea. He is our shelter from the storm. We love the one who pushes us headlong into the storm. Then He keeps us there while the storm rages on. Oh Lord, shelter from the storm. Do we love the one who pushes us headlong into the storm? Then He keeps us there while the storm rages on.
All right, man. Jesus Guy by the Jeff Arrandale Band. Okay, now I forgot to ask. When are these hits? These one of the things you're working on, or is this one already available?
No, this is working on. It's it might make the final cut when I go to Nashville. It's been fun. God blesses me with times of creativity.
Yeah.
And the Spirit leads in writing these tunes, and so I haven't been back to Nashville for since before the pandemic. So I have a stockpile of songs, and so this is one that might make the cut. One of these, I don't know how many you're going to let us do today, but I think 12 is what the contract says, right?
Yeah,
Today?
I think that's about right. Yeah.
Yeah.
We're going to turn off the lights after 3, but I mean, you can keep on a rocking. Now, do the people of Nashville know you caused the pandemic, or is that something you're going to share with them like later on? What do you go to eat down there? Like, is there a place where, like, when you visit Nashville, you go, I got to go there to eat?
You know, there's a little, it's a neighborhood steakhouse down there. There's no way anybody's heard of it, but it's called the Texas Roadhouse. It's on the south on 65. It's locals, very local, very special. You know, to be honest with you, there isn't anything special, any place special. To me, it's more about just immersing myself in the music and those people and the history of the place. I love going down to the Ryman. Is just how awesome would it be able to be to preach there? I've actually performed there during the tour. There's a guitar up on stage, and you get to stand in front of an old WSN microphone. And so I performed a song at the Ryman stage.
Okay, hold on a second. I got confused because when you said during the tour, it sounded like during your music tour. But what you mean is they let you take a tour of the Ryman.
Yes.
And there's a guitar there that everyone gets. Okay.
Yeah. And you get it's a Polaroid too, first class Polaroid. I've got it somewhere. Yeah.
Now, okay, that was a real artsy answer you gave me. Like, I don't go there for the food. I mean, everywhere I go, I buy a donut. Like, I'm like, I gotta try a donut here. Maybe a donut is different.
Barbecue
in Portland, Maine.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Okay. So is there? But there's you guys go to Nehemiah Fest in Missouri. Like, there's a few places you go pretty consistently.
Yeah.
Is there any place where you're like, dude, if we go there, we need to eat at this place?
Oski. We go to what's the name of that Italian restaurant that's right there off the square? Oh, I can't think of it.
It's the Olive Garden.
The Milan Roadhouse.
No, what's it called? But we played a radio station down there. We played at Concert on the Square down there.
Mm-hmm.
And whenever we go down there, we're on the radio down there. I would say, guys, I'll buy you lunch on the way back, and so we stopped there. Amazing pizza. And
Nameless place.
Oh, I can't think of the name of it.
Man, you could have kept him in business, Arrandale, but not today.
I don't think they have any trouble. That place is packed usually. So, yeah.
Okay. That does actually make me curious. For the complaint line, we'll keep you guys busy today. 515-517-0085. Call or text. Is there a place... Arrandale and Jason and the band are traveling about. Where do they need to eat? Have them pick the place to eat first. Say, look, if you're going to travel somewhere, go to here and eat, and then they can book a gig around it. There's a justification. Like, I heard there was a really good place in Moberly, Missouri, and I'm going to go to the funny pages, as a matter of fact, in Moberly. And you say, well, we got to book a gig. We got to.
From what I've heard, you need to go to Hattie B's for hot chicken in Nashville.
Okay.
Hattie B's.
All right. Hattie B's.
Really? Okay. Well, Dan attests to it. Hattie B's.
Dan's been there.
All right. What about this? The Rendezvous in Memphis. Have you been there? Barbecue. Down to Rendezvous.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Rendezvous.
That. Yeah.
I
We
too
should
have
probably
been to
go there
Fazoli's.
sometime.
Okay. Hey, we're taking the show on the road.
Okay, so I do have a question about the tunes, Arrandale.
Yeah.
So, like, two questions. Is one, this is going to sound weird because we know the same Jesus, but like, do you ever find it hard to write, to write a song, right? Because there's so much to be said, and people have been following Yahweh for centuries upon centuries, right? And so, like, coming up with a thing to say, or like an original way of maybe presenting feelings or thoughts or whatever, it seems like there's just a lot based out of Scripture and a lot based on people's our own lives. And like, do you ever struggle with writing a song that way?
Yeah, that's a really good question. Yeah, I do. But I'm under some really great teaching. And, it's all inspired by God's Word and the Holy Spirit's leading. And matter of fact, I'm working on a song right now called "Holy, Holy, Holy." I don't know if you've ever heard of that before.
Yeah, if that's ever crossed your ears.
It kind of is, but also, some of it's autobiographical, some of it's in the moment.
Yeah.
Some of it's a situation. I think of the title cut for the first CD was "Not Here for Me."
Mm-hmm.
That was written out of a time of sadness and sorrow, and a friend that a time of hurt.
Yeah.
And I really think God put me in that storm as a test, but also to grow. And out of that came the song "Not Here for Me," and just worshiping through that pain, worshiping through, maybe it's an illness or whatever, but worshiping through a broken relationship, or et cetera, et cetera. So
Yeah.
But then also there is always a biblical, whether it's a worship song or a Christian rock song or whatever, there's always a biblical premise or support through Scripture. So,
All right.
yeah.
I don't know. Mike, didn't you have two questions?
Yeah, I find like I'm only looking at it through my own lens because, like, let's say a year ago I come up with this idea, right? And I'm gonna write a song. I think to myself, and I title it "Throne Room of the King,"
Mm-hmm.
and I think this one's gonna rock. And then I stared at the title for a year and a half, and here we are, at least to today, where I've not written any of it.
Yeah.
And I thought, I have nothing to say. You know what I'm saying? Like I have,
Yeah.
and I'm not like overly poetic. I don't really write songs like with lyrics ever, and so like, but I thought I feel like God has had to have gifted people to be able to express like something that your heart would want to say through the limited scope that our language can handle, and be able to do it over and over again, and be able to do it with something that other people can relate to. Like I'm just amazed by it, really. Like I would struggle to even. It's like when you're praying. Sometimes in front of a large group, you're like, I sound like a doofus. You know what I'm saying? And you're like, I mean everything I'm saying, but it turns out I'm a genuine doofus.
Yeah, yeah.
And like, but other people will pray as if they're just their name is Steve Psalms. You know what I'm saying? Like they just rock this beautiful thing, and it's all true, and they're not being fake, and they're not trying to like gain approval. Steve Psalms.
If that doesn't make it on a hat,
I'm just saying.
Steve. So
I struggle with the Psalms because, like, I'll read them and I'm like, David, you could have just said, I'm kind of upset right now, and God, I'm holding you responsible.
Yeah.
And that's the whole chapter.
Actually, I do think that's interesting. A lot of great art, the reason people connect with it isn't because they feel like it's really great art. It's because it found a way to articulate something that they would have said if they were capable of saying it.
Yes, that sounds really right.
Right, like you. And that's why you latch on to a worship tune or to a poem or even like a scripture. Like something gets said, and you're like, boy, like I wish I could have said that, not in like a jealous way, but like you found something that articulated you in a way that with words that you couldn't quite find on your own. I find that's like I connect with literature very in that way, where someone says something, I'm like, wow. Like I wish I would want to have said that if this person has found a way to like inherently we're selfish. You find someone who articulates something that you would have agreed with, and you go, oh, that guy's good.
Or you wish that you saw it that way, right?
Yes.
Like it's like just as like what Jeff's saying, like when you sit under good teaching, right? Like when it gets taught in a way, and you're like, man, I never thought about it that way, and you're like, how could I possibly have never thought about it that way?
Yeah.
It seems so obvious right now, but like. Once again, it's one of those Holy Spirit things that, like, if you would have thought about it that way 5 years ago, it wouldn't have meant anything to you, or you wouldn't have had the right output, right? And sometimes it just takes like God's timing and giving you ears to hear to go, here, I mean for you to hear this today and apply it for the thing that's happening to you. So like I've like the fact that like you can continue to write music and continue to put songs out that people can relate with and can point them to Jesus, and I think. Man, I I feel like I'd run out of words and thoughts,
Yeah. Well, the other thing, too, that I keep in mind, and I'm reading a book now called A Praying Life that's applicable to this, Paul Miller's book, just talking about how Christ wants us to come to him like children. That means when we pray, we shouldn't try to say, we should come broken and stupid and not knowing the right words or whatever. And he knows our hearts, and the Holy Spirit is also praying for us. and our behalf as well. So it's kind of along those same lines. So when I write a song, it's like I put on my dunce hat and say, all right, God, what are we going to do?
Yeah.
The other thing too that's kind of interesting, somebody like Paul McCartney and other amazing songwriters, they talk about songs are in the air. And if you apply that from our perspective, a Holy Spirit, sometimes it's just a gift. It's like, wow, where did that come from?
Right.
Have I heard it?
Right. Actually, that's real interesting. Like, it feels like you are grabbing a moment, not because it's necessarily in front of you, but like all the variables of whatever the song is to be is just sitting around you. Mm-hmm. And you could have contemplated it for another, 10 years, and it may or may not have done anything. As a matter of fact, I remember seeing something that's interesting. You brought up Paul McCartney, that like oftentimes I remember him saying that him and John Lennon both would write, and they would just like fill like whatever words, like cereal, like whatever words were in their head. And then like you give it 25 minutes, 30 minutes, and the song would come. I always felt that, okay, this is going to see super metaphysical, what I'm going to say. But like, I remember a distinct time when I was at work and I thought of something and someone's like, wow, that's a great idea. And I felt real good about it, except for then I felt like I was taking credit for something that I didn't do. Like I just sat there. I was just staring at something and whatever this notion was popped into my mind and then I spoke it. So whatever like part of me is your brain coming up with the stuff for God is providing, like I didn't really make any effort. It was just there. And I think a lot of times, like good art, good music, and even stuff that you teach. Dan, I don't know if you ever like you're making notes and you wrote something like, well, hot dang, that's pretty good actually. But like,
man, I'm good.
It surprised you because you didn't craft it, right? Like it was just there. And I feel like it's kind of in the same vein.
Yeah, definitely.
What are you guys doing? Are you fighting over the microphone? What are we, children? Speak, Dan.
Hey, yeah. So. I wrote a song when I was in my 20s.
Uh-huh.
It was great. And no, really, it just came to me, just like what you're saying. Except it wasn't great.
Oh,
I mean, this was like when hymns ruled the world, right? So, and I'm thinking this is a great song, and I couldn't even tell you what it is today. But I thought I just kept singing over and over in my head. This is a great little chorus,
Yep.
And I thought, I'm going to introduce this at church. And this is going to be, I'll be Chris Tomlin before he was, and it's going to be wonderful. And I got it there and I said, hey, I heard this song. So I totally lied. I'm introducing it with a lie. If it bombs, I didn't want to take credit for it. And I heard this song. I want to sing it. Let's sing it together. And they all looked at me. I sang the song. And they looked at me like, that is the stupidest thing I've heard in my entire life. So, I mean, truly, there's something to being able to put something into a song and some artistry and have it mean something rather than just like, some dude driving around a car thinking, this is going to be great.
It's fantastic.
Anyway, yeah. I went back to preaching.
Okay, so speaking of putting awesome songs together, let's kick off song number 2. What else you got in the docket here, Jeff?
Well, this is one that's called Running Man, a bit of autobiographical stuff where prodigal son gave my life to Christ, believer's baptism, moved away from my disciple family area, and ran away. I thought I could figure out this stuff on my own. I didn't need God. He all the time was pursuing me as I was running away from him. So it's not exactly what happened, because there's also a verse about a woman who was running away as well. But in the end, God reveals their need to them, the fact that they need him, and so there's redemption at the end as well. So this is called Running Man. All right, you ready for this one, guys?
He's been a running man, didn't understand, he just ran, didn't know what he was running from, it was your kingdom come, self-made girl, didn't need the world. You can keep the pearls. No time for God, they were fighting words. Didn't need the hurt. And so she ran from your kindness, your mercy, your love for her. Your kindness, your mercy, your love for her. Then came revelation. You revealed your love to them. No more separation. You gave light, let them see their need. Your kindness, your mercy, your love for him. Your kindness, your mercy, your love for her. All their lives they've been running scared. They had to be aware and sniff the air. Who can stand, stop and stand against your love, against your plan? Then came revelation. You revealed your love to them. No more separation. You gave light, let them see their need. Your kindness, your mercy, your love for him. Your kindness, your mercy, your love for her. Your kindness, your mercy, your love for us.
Hey, man. I really like that one.
Yeah. You know, Arrandale, I feel like your tunes over the years have become more swampy.
Yeah.
You feel that? You feel that's been happening? Jason, what do you think? Yeah, swampy.
Yeah.
They talk about it when you're not in the van. Say, Arrandale's getting swampy.
I discovered Drop D.
That's
the
where
rhythm-
it starts. Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I dig that one.
It's,
Now,
it's funny what we were talking about, right? Like that song's a perfect example of that. And almost this seems to be a part when you struggle is like we get too far separated from the moment when we knew that that was true, right? Like Prodigal Son style, like when we come back and you're like, man, this is his love and his mercy has caused all this and you know it and it's 100% fact. And then like fast forward 10 years and we've either not surrounded ourselves with people and watched them experience the same thing, you know, to where that moment like lost some of its weight and you get kind of confused. And like that's where all of our like rule-based Christianity fails kind of show up. Like when you're guided by that moment when you realize everything that God said about himself and you was true.
Yeah.
And like it changes your entire moment and you're like you're not even thinking how to behave. You're like, God, do whatever. Do what just Holy Spirit choose, or like I'll read, or what I'm in, whatever it is, you know. And then we get farther away from that moment, and then it loses its power. And maybe that's the encouragement is to like even listen to that song. I just started thinking about like the time when that happened to me, and the number of people I know where like I happened to be able to be there when that moment happened for them, and it just reignites the thing that you know is absolutely true.
Yeah. Actually, I had somebody call me tonight, and they just wanted me to pray with them, and it was around like, hey man, I know all this stuff is true, but like moments are killing me. This last 2 days, like I recognize that like there's just stuff popping up into my head and making me feel a certain way about my life and where my life is going. And he goes, I just know it's not true, but doggone it, like I just need someone to pray with me. And like I one of the things I told him is it's interesting is that like there's nothing unhealthy about that, right? Like the healthy part is recognizing it and going, hey man, someone's trying to sell me a bill of goods here. Like I knew the thing to be true. And these moments in front of me are telling me lies, or they're making me think something that otherwise I know not to be right. But like one of the things I was thinking of after the conversation with this guy was I very much sympathize where you start piling moment upon moment and upon moment, and it will overwhelm you, and it starts to skew what you think about the world and the things you don't remember. It's the reason that's so valuable to raise an Ebenezer, to keep the memories of where I knew at this moment God was here and he was sovereign and he was good in my life, because 2 days from now I might get caught in a situation where like I'm prone to forgetting completely what that reality was like, because like we're so fickle on what we feel and what we take in around us. And so
it's the leaky vessels.
Yeah.
Right? Like we're a vessel, but there's a hole in the bottom, and if you don't stay close to the source, you empty.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well,
I'm writing a song called Leaky Vessels.
Yeah.
Leaky
Wait a minute, let me write
vessels. Stay out of it, Arrandale.
It's already copywritten. Everything that comes out of your mouth is already
In the
copywritten.
throne room of the king. Leaky vessels.
Actually, that's not bad.
Leaky Vessels is me in the middle of the night.
Arrandale, honestly.
I told you he was getting swampy.
As soon as you told him it was internet radio, this would come out.
He says, "You mean we can use them 4-letter words?" No, that was my fault. He thought the word leaky has only got 4 letters in it. We didn't run these things by him. Okay, let's do this. So we go into the night because our wives don't care. But you fellas have legit things to do. So let's do this. Let's hit song. Actually, I'm gonna say nice things about you and where they can find information about you, and then we'll hit song 3.
Okay.
And then you guys can sneak out.
Cool.
Before the
Sounds good.
people recognize you were here.
Yeah.
So still jeffarrandale.com?
Yep, jeffarrandale.com. Let's see, Facebook at Jeff Arrandale Band.
Yep. Are you a frequent poster on the social medias?
Yes. Especially when we've got something coming up or something's going on with somebody in the band or at a rehearsal or recording or, it's doing something like that. But definitely, yep. Mm-hmm.
Okay, awesome. So you can still hit up jeffarrandale.com. Hey, 'tis the season to give your favorite friend, loved one, or enemy, coworker the gift of music. And so if you go to jeffarrandale.com, you can pick up now, wait, if someone buys it, do you have to ship it out personally?
Yes.
Okay. Hey, buy it from the website.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah. Do you got any pressed vinyl?
I do not, and I've thought about that and may do that with this next project. But
I mean, you told that joke earlier, and there was no filter on that. But when it came to printing out some vinyl, you got the hesitation?
Yeah.
He's debating, and he wants to know if the wax cylinder is going to come back. So you don't want to jump on the technology, retro technology too early.
What's the original one with Thomas Edison? Was the
You got
tin
burned
that-
on all those 8 tracks.
Yeah.
That's right.
What am I going to do with all these Richard Marks?
And I had a huge collection, and I just sold them for pennies on the dollar. It's like, that was not the right thing to do.
Part of my heart.
What was the top one? The one where you're like, boy, if I could hold on to any, it doesn't make any sense, but I would keep this one.
Gosh, probably Abbey Road. I'm a Beatle guy.
You had Abbey Road on 8-track?
No. It was on vinyl. We were talking vinyl.
Oh, okay.
I didn't have 8-track. Yeah, because
okay.
I love that. That was never distracting.
Okay. All right. So do that. You can also listen on wherever your digital music is listened to. However, listen, Arrandale doesn't make very much money if you listen to it on the digital. So if you're going to listen to it, you got to listen to it like 780 times. So you can get a couple pennies or maybe a quick trip hot dog or something.
Yeah, right.
Okay. All right. But keep an eye on, sign up for the socials, and so you can tell when they're going to be out and about. Now, here's the thing I would encourage you in, and this is different in my environment. I grant, because as a house church, we're just invading people's places. And so if Arrandale was playing somewhere close, we might go, hey, man, we're all going. And we just might go to that church.
Yeah.
I know that's not feasible for everybody, but like wherever the people of Jesus are meeting, feel free to go out and check it out. Whether Arrandale is there or not, it's good to just every once in a while just meet the people of Jesus where they're at. And so if it happens to be coinciding with the worship leading by Jeff Arrandale and crew, then you should do that.
Yeah, and I would also put out there, too, house concerts are fun. So, if ever anybody, there's not a lot of venues for straight Christian bands. And, and I'm just bashful,
Yeah.
So I don't usually do that too much, but not against it at all. So
Do they, do you have to negotiate the rate?
Whatever. I mean, we do it for the fun. We do it connect.
Okay.
We do it for the fellowship. We do it for the money.
Rice Krispies treats, macaroni
Rice,
salad.
yeah, right.
Yeah, okay.
But that's all negotiable. So
Okay. All right. Hey, don't accept his first offer.
Yeah.
Arrandale's easily moved.
The art of negotiation is
Yes,
that'll be $500, please. What? Only 25 sold.
Yes, we'll do it. We don't have Rice Krispies, but we have crispy rice that came in the bag. Is that going to work? That'll work.
I'm really interested in the name of this last song because the first two have been Something Man.
Something Man. Yeah.
Oh, seriously?
Yeah.
Yeah,
See,
you played-
Running Man, Jesus guy, not Jesus Man.
Oh, yeah.
But
Caveat then.
Okay.
But that was a good prediction, though. This one-
Sabbath Dude. I think it's okay. Tell us about the third one.
Holy moly.
This one's called, are you ready?
I'm ready.
I Am a Man.
Oh,
Yeah, so.
there is a theme in here, though.
There is.
There's a lot of testosterone in these tunes.
Yeah. And this is actually a lament, a little bit. Boy, yesterday we were at this church, and after we got done, we had food and fellowship. But this guy came up and said, today just absolutely rocked. I mean, we come to this church regularly, and the Holy Spirit shows up, and we worship, and we can feel the presence of the Holy Spirit here. Today just was different. It rocked. And he was telling me his testimony. He said, if you would have told me, a year ago that I'd be attending church regularly and doing a Bible study, but man, I'm on fire. My life has changed. It's turned around, not because of anything that I've done other than to recognize who Christ is and who he is and who he is to me and what he's done for me in addition to the world. So this is a little bit about, kind of somebody along those lines who, recognizing he comes from a long line of sin, but is able to and is a little bit ashamed about what he's maybe drugged the Holy Spirit through, the sin in his life and seeing that thing and seeing that kind of stuff, but also recognizing that God was man, or Jesus was man, but also God, and he's alive today at the right hand of God as our advocate and just fighting for us.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome.
All right, this is called I Am a Man. Now, this one really has a really cool lead part on it, but Mark couldn't be here, so you come up with the own lead in your head. All right,
We can sing it. Give me the gist of it. We can woo it.
Yeah, does it? All right, here we go. Not a drop D, but it's a bit swampy. Here we go.
I am a man, and I know where I've been. The long, long road, taking my share on the chin. I will confess. Tell me, where do I begin? I made you come, bearing witness to my sin. He was a taken to the grave. He was a man, he is God. He is the one who won, covered by his love. I am a man, he is God. And when I'm weak, though he is strong. He was a man, he is God. He is the one who won, covered by his love. I am a man, he is God. He knows I'm weak, and I know he is strong.
All right, man. That was Jeff Arrandale with the Jeff Arrandale Band. At least some, like we just fit 3 in. We fit 3 of the fellas in. Thanks for joining us, fellas, tonight.
Yeah.
So here's what we're going to do. Boy, we just haven't had to do this in a while. We're going to take like a quick break. If you're on the podcast, you're probably not even going to notice the difference. And we'll be right back with the some advice and worst Christmas presents for dudes, which I wanted to talk about because I saw a catalog today and it was a Christian catalog. It's embarrassing. Anyway, we'll pick up back with you here in just a moment here on Live from the Path. Well, welcome back to Live from the Path. Like I said, it feels like just a moment for you. It has been many a moon for us. And so welcome back. Okay, here's where we go. We got to check up the show, though. So stuff we got to do.
That's the second time you've used the phrase many a moon.
I said it 10 times yesterday. I'm actually on the decline.
Many a moon.
Because
How many months?
One of my kids asked, like, what do they mean by, like, 3 moons? And so I said, she was in a book she was reading. I said, well, they mean 3 days. Like, I saw the moon 3 times. And she goes, well, why couldn't you just say 3 suns? I said, I don't know, man.
It just seems right.
People say moons.
Hey, man, speaking of moon, Friday night, I think I'm feeling like some popcorn, right? And I think I'm just going to go to a movie theater and get some popcorn.
Yeah.
Then I thought, I'm just going to see a movie. And then I'm like, my wife was doing a women's retreat thing.
Yeah.
So I thought, this is Killers of the Flower Moon thing. I thought, that sounds interesting. My wife would not do that. It's a 3.5 hour movie.
Oh,
I didn't look.
Moses.
I just wanted popcorn.
It's epic.
But it was a good movie.
Oh.
I've never in my life thought, I just want popcorn. I'm going to go to the theater where I can spend $11.
You don't
for a
know how to
bucket.
live. That is living.
What was
I mean, I do
3.5
hate
hours?
popcorn.
I
so-
missed it.
Oh, I love popcorn.
What'd you say?
What was 3.5 hours?
The movie.
Which movie did you see?
Killers of the Flower Moon. It's a story I'd never heard
Mike, you
about. It's
just
a real
said it.
story based on a real story.
Sorry, I wasn't
Yeah.
paying attention.
It's crazy. It's incredible.
I thought you wouldn't go see that Duck Commander movie.
They have a movie now?
Yeah, it's called Blind. In the Blinds, From the Blind.
Yeah.
Whatever. I went and saw it. It was all right.
If there's
called
popcorn,
Blind.
I'm there.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So we're going to check out the show. We got some Ask the Pastor.
Yes.
We can't spend too long on it, but like I got a Christian book catalog, which comes in, I don't know, once every couple months or something. And these holiday gifts for men
Oh no.
were, terrible.
Are there socks?
They're terrible. Yeah, like
Tie.
socks. There was, a tie with the thing. Like there were multiple statues of some sort of Roman soldier, armor of God looking thing.
Oh.
And multiple screwdriver kits.
Get your husband a Legionnaire or a screwdriver kit.
Right. And like these were things like if as a dude, if you needed a screwdriver, you would never reach
exactly.
for this pile of
Do you
crap.
want this $3 multi-tool?
Like this that's got like a scripture on it or something.
Yeah.
And I thought
So it's $25.
these are
Like
terrible.
a proverb about being a handy person.
Anyway, like what I don't know, if someone were to get
Let
you
the Lord build the house.
as a Christian-esque gift as a dude for Christmas, like what would be a good one?
I expect a rock that just says "on this rock."
I want some Christian cologne.
Christian cologne.
I don't know, but
Like,
there's got to be something
Frankincense.
good. I don't know.
It smells like certain scenes from the Bible.
Please, we do need to do that. It's essentially like a scent, like just a flight of scents, and it's all the different things of some of the major stories. Jonah's just smells real sea-like and breezy.
Yeah, we could do that.
Like we could
We could
do.
make a
Oh,
mint.
absolutely. We could.
Two sprays of Saul in a cave.
Valley of Bones. Like it's great.
You smell that?
We could get a whole
Dry
line
bones?
going on
Is it
Alibaba.
It smells specifically like dry bones rising. Like I don't know how you got that from it. We got to contact a perfumer.
Hey,
Sea salt caramel.
you guys remember the worship?
Mount Carmel.
What's the worship song where they go, just like the man who was thrown on the bones of Elisha?
Yeah.
There ain't anything that he can't do. What's that? Rattle.
Yeah.
Okay, it's from the song Rattle. Have you guys heard that?
Yeah.
No.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so I come across that in scripture this week, and like the worship song, it's been a while since I'd read it, and so I forgot the story. And the worship song makes it sound like someone had gone out and like, hey, let's resurrect a man and throw him on the bones of Elisha. They accidentally they didn't mean to bring the man back to life. They just tried to bury him in the same cave of
that's
which
really awkward.
Elisha's bones were, and then he resurrected.
No,
And like,
the song didn't imply that.
I'm just saying.
You know, we've had a run with Dear Life from the past lately where you just make up your own story and then you put that as part of the answer.
no, that's what happened to you last time.
No, it is not.
Yeah,
I listened back to it and I'm like, I was right for sure.
No.
And so you're doing the same thing with this Elijah story and the song Rattle. Rattle
saying-
did not say that they intentionally were trying to
And
raise
we
a man.
intentionally raised this man by throwing him onto the bones of
That-
Elijah.
yeah, it was just ask the man.
Leaky
Just ask him.
If there's anything that God can't do,
Yeah,
right?
And
But
he's
that
going to say, yeah, he rose a guy from the dead, even if I had no
he
intention to
didn't
have it
even
done.
ask. They just tried when they're
But
trying to get
the
rid of the
song
body.
didn't say he asked.
It's just the
I haven't
impression.
read
they
that
give.
one for a while. I got to refresh my memory on that.
It's like two verses. It's just
But I mean, I'm just thinking of all the. I mean, as everybody start bringing their dead relatives there now? I mean, like,
that'd be the
what
smart
happens
move.
from that?
It's like the pet cemetery.
What if you threw a live guy in there? Would he be like ultra alive?
Feeling real good.
He was filled with the Spirit.
And like, so the guy comes back to life. Is he healed of what killed him, or does he just have to die again?
That would
crap,
be
now I have
a
cancer
funny
again.
distinction.
Like right
dude-
in front of the
dude
bones.
Dude got speared in a battle. Still has the gash in his side.
I finally
Gets
had
resurrected,
peace.
but it's like, fellas, we still got a problem here. I still have this whole.
The blood's a
God's like-
gushing again.
God's like, I bought you like 10 minutes to do something, you guys.
You could have made something happen.
No,
That's great.
this is
Okay.
awful.
All right. So any other gifts that you would like to get?
No, I don't want any gift like that. Just know me as a person.
No. Wait. You don't want? Well,
What kind of, that's a hard gift. Here's what you can give me. Know me entirely.
No.
No,
I want to be known.
I did not say know me entirely, you creeper.
No, you
I
did.
said know me as a person, which is a perfectly understandable thing to say. You guys are already blowing out of proportion. You know me. If you're getting me a gift, there's a chance that you know that I probably like cooking, or there's plenty of YouTube shows that I watch that you can grab a hold
Oh,
of.
I thought you were
Bible
saying that
cookbook.
was the gift.
No,
Bible grilling
It's
book.
to know me.
You terrifying. I'm not being esoteric and saying, hey, know me.
It was weird.
Okay, that is what it sounded
Know
like.
me as a human being is my
Yes,
present.
that's exactly what it sounded like.
All I want for you to be is close to me and for you to know me.
Preach it.
I want to be known by those who love me.
So would there be some appropriate like Christian underwear? I mean, there's
No.
got to be some novelty stuff. They
No,
put, you know, they
we're
put-
trying to get away from novelty, Dan.
I'm just saying.
You're the reason
if
we
you're gonna
have these
make a
catalogs.
catalog- I didn't buy any of it.
No, but people go, I bet Dan would love this one.
You can love this.
It's the same reason I can't commit to a tattoo. Right?
Yeah,
with
right.
With a religious, a biblical tie. Like, because I could never think like, does this really mean more to me than other stuff in the Bible? Because I can't think of anything that like really rises to the top, like a life verse or something, you know? So I'm like, once I get it, I'm like, man, I wish I would have put that bone thing with Elisha on here. Dang it.
Well, what do you do when you put a Bible verse, tattoo on, and then 5 years later you find out it means something completely different than what you thought at the time? You know,
right.
That's why when I was like 18, 19 years old, when I knew nothing about Jesus, like at all, and I was rampantly running the opposite direction. I was like, man, I'm gonna get that "Here am I, send me" part of Isaiah, and I'm gonna have like, and I would go full into it too. I'd be like, I'm gonna get like, you know how people get tattoos of somebody praying and they're like folded hands in front of some candles. Isaiah was bringing war, and so it doesn't even make sense to be in candles. It makes sense for him to be holding a sword, and then in the smoke of the candles that he just blew out because he's ready to go. It says, "Here am I, send me." And I was going to get that as a back piece, like a full-size back piece. That was going to be my opus of my life at 18. I was like, oh, boy.
Put that in your
I'm gonna
Christmas
get that.
catalog.
Either that or I was like, I'm going to get a giant door that's barely open. And on one side, it's lit up. And on the other side, it's my shadow cast. And then I'm going to get Matthew 7:7. Ask and it will be given to you. Seek and you will find. Knock and the door will be open to you on my back. And I decided against all those things.
Yes, this was wise.
Yeah.
Temporary tattoos. Temporary Christian tattoos.
Yeah, now that would
That's
go.
true.
That would fly.
We should do like
Just to
a
try 'em
1
out.
year trial of maybe not even a year, maybe 6 months. I feel like it should be longer than I can wash this off in 3
Yeah.
showers.
A 6
But,
month fade.
I want to take a look at this Ezekiel verse for this year. This is my life verse for the year.
I would do one of those. Yeah,
I think so,
I'm
too.
in. Let's develop that.
That's definitely we can do that. We can sell that.
Okay, good. What else? Like golf balls with a cross on it?
Ah.
I saw a wallet that had some kind of like had an embroidered cross in there. I said no.
Here's the thing. It's like whatever you're trying to accomplish, if like the "What Would Jesus Do" bracelet didn't do it, or like you changing the background of your phone didn't do it, whatever you're going to buy from this catalog ain't going to do it. You know
I
what I'm saying?
want a stress ball of a loaf of bread, and it says "I am the bread of life" on it. I'd buy that.
Yeah.
Actually, not even kidding. I'd take that.
I had a bread candle. Looked like a loaf of bread candle in college, and it smelled like bread. I mean, it was anyway.
Okay,
it smells
triggered
just
a memory there.
Speaking of bread
just like
candles,
the
though,
ovens
It really
in
smelled
Lebanon.
good. I mean,
have you seen these folks that they will like melt butter into like a what is it, like a tea candle looking shape, and then freeze it instantly, and but they'll put a candle wick in it, and then they take a loaf of bread after about an hour, put this butter candle in the middle of it, and light it on fire, and then all the butter melts into the bread.
Oh,
No, that's interesting.
Doesn't that sound awesome?
Yeah,
Put a little
it does.
garlic in there.
Yeah.
A little aioli.
Huh.
yeah.
Aioli.
We get
know
a
what that
temporary
is?
tattoo with the name with
No.
aioli on it.
I was going to say, you don't know what aioli is, do you?
It's
No.
Hebrew for butter.
No, it's not.
You don't even know Hebrew. Okay,
Hebrew.
so basically,
It's a madness.
yeah, if they all seem super cheesy. Like one of them was like a 4 ratchet set, like a tiny ratchet with 4 ratchet. What am I thinking of? Sockets. 4 sockets in there. I'm like, no legit dude in the world is going to go, oh, thank you.
You might
you-
be the man for that tool set.
If you could get these at like the bin section of the Harbor Freight during like Thanksgiving sales,
Yeah.
and then slap a Jesus quote
$4.99.
on them, they're not a good gift.
Yeah.
Like that's not the good bin to go to. Like it should not be $5 or
Okay.
less for your Christian
So
husband.
this
and
goes
father.
back to that conversation we're having with Arrandale. The farther you are away from that moment, the more you're apt to buy crappy gifts like this to like remind you of
Or
things.
decorate your place
Yeah.
with cheesy.
I'm
Oh,
not
gosh.
saying that like you can't have Christian themed stuff at your house, but I guess what I'm saying is like if it feels like you're grasping, you're trying to hold on to a thing, that like I don't know, like in that moment when you realize that like you're broken and he's offering freedom and all the things that he's ever said about himself is true and he believes in all the things that he's said about you. You are not thinking about, man, I wish I could just get this written on a pin that I could see on my
Right.
desk.
Can I get this on a piece of driftwood that I could put above my bed?
Right. You're just immediately you start thinking about all the people you want to tell this to.
Right.
In a person to person conversation,
I just want to get a stuffed little lamb that I could sleep with.
Yeah, that's been murdered.
Oh,
Like the Lord Jesus. Is that- That's wrong, Dan.
I'm sorry. I was not prepared to hear that. It's been murdered.
Yeah, that took a turn.
We get it,
I
Ben.
was
The
going
lamb
with a
was
white
slain.
little fluffy lamb.
That's not the picture.
It's been murdered.
It's the Revelation.
What are you, a
lamb.
goth? It's covered in blood.
All right.
Why does he lead you beside still waters, but like when he talks, it's rushing waters?
They're not the same pictures, Mike.
They're in the same Bible, Ben.
You're right.
There is a lot in the same Bible, Mike.
No, you got it.
I'm starting my own denomination.
Jesus has 2 states: rushing water, still water.
Welcome to the house of the rushing water.
Lambs over here, wolves over there.
We won't have deacons. We'll have beacons. They
Couldn't
preach the
possibly only be 4 winds.
Okay, it's a complaint line. Let us like. Is there? I thought like, okay, Bible. Someone could purchase you a Bible, but I wouldn't want someone to buy me a Bible.
Yeah.
Like I would prefer to choose one, or frankly, just keep my own. Like I don't want a new one. And so even that, I suppose, like if you were, although I've purchased Bibles for people who like were new to the faith.
Yeah.
And like
but they don't know.
Right.
Yeah.
And so it's but it's way different than, hey, I got you a flask that says water and then has a cross on it. Or something like this weird stuff that we've got.
Put in water, wine comes out.
Wine comes out.
I want a packet of wheat and tare seeds mixed together.
What are you doing? What the Bible said.
You know, it would be weird to have a flask with a cross on it that said, "You shall never thirst again." And it's like an empty flask. You can't fill it.
Yeah,
It's
right.
like there's
a cap at the top.
There's a thing at the top where you can't actually put water in it.
Do people make like biblical playing cards?
Cards for humanity.
Oh,
like
they got the Joker,
that's right.
Satan in the garden,
The King Jesus.
Oh no!
King David. Yeah,
That's right.
Or that'd be Jesus. No.
Royal flush. Moses over Hezekiah.
Queen of Sheba.
We really need to develop this.
Okay, that seems important.
They would sell like hotcakes. That was great.
Okay, longer temporary Christian themed tattoos and a deck of biblical playing
Biblical
cards.
playing cards. Okay, I would do that because that's actually funny to me. Like
Yeah,
I would
yeah.
enjoy it. Okay.
We were looking into doing cards last year, and I was looking all over the place. Remember, we were going to do that for Christmas.
Oh yeah.
and like
gonna do a
they were
Monopoly,
expensive.
too?
Yes.
it was a fortune.
Right.
Yeah.
Monopoly cost a fortune too.
Yeah,
Didn't
or maybe
it?
that was it. We were doing Monopoly.
Oh, yeah, right. Life
Like
in
Path Monopoly.
That was
$400
it.
or something.
Right. Yeah, because we got the complaint line had like given us some options. And
Yeah.
Right.
properties.
Yeah.
But then I found out you can't do it for real. You get it from Etsy or something, and
Yeah,
someone makes
right.
it, so it's like a fake.
And
It's like,
so
well, I
it's
can make
gonna
a
take
fake
forever to
one.
make it, yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
yeah.
Can they be really cheesy drawings of Moses, like really old school looking,
Yeah.
like
Like
Catholic Moses?
Charlton Heston?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's
Sure.
fine.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, I'll put the thought on that. Maybe we can pull that together, and we'll put it. We still have to do the secular versus Solomon card game, and
true.
work
Yeah.
on putting that to
We can work on that.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, if you have any ideas, what type of non-cheesy Christian themed item would you dudes? Maybe actually, dudes or ladies is fine. Like, would you be okay to receive?
Now, you guys bought locusts. I mean, we could do chocolate covered locusts. or
That's
something.
true.
Make a holiday, theme, mint and
Yes,
chocolate. And
that's true. That's true. You can expand upon it. Now, I was okay with to try, I guess. If someone got me, I'd be like, oh, wow, that's kind of cool. Never mind, I'd be in for it.
Can we do promised land baskets with like milk and honey in them?
Yeah, you better drink that fast, though. That milk don't last.
Hey, if you see somebody in these lands, though, you got to kick them out.
Yeah.
For real.
Yeah.
You got to everybody. Got to get rid of all of them.
Oh, never mind. That's not funny. All right, move on. You had it ask the pastor.
I never say that. That's not
I
funny.
was just about to say.
I just say
I'm terrified. Don't say it, but I'm terrified of what might have come from. Oh no, I can't say that. That's not funny.
Filter-
I got about 3
filter
dresses in my
activated.
head, whatever that
I've
was.
censored myself 6 times in the last 14 years. I can't say that. I've said some raunchy stuff on this show. Okay. All right. So ask the pastor this week. So in Matthew 16 is when Jesus asks, like, who am I? And who do people say I am, right? And Peter affirms that he believes that Jesus is the Son of God, right? The Messiah. And Jesus responds and says, on this rock I will build my church, right? Like that's the big thing. What is a church? at that point in time. Like, the Greek word is the ecclesia, is that right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So that's like the first time that pops up as a word. And so conceptually, church really isn't a thing at this point in time. Like, they've got the temple and they've got the tabernacle and they've got all that Old Testament stuff that still exists in Jerusalem. But like, the word church doesn't really have a meaning up to this point, as far as I understand. And so as I was reading it, I got confused to thinking, like, is Peter taking that incorrectly? Like, is he understanding that means that, like, the community of the body of Christ in my kingdom, I will build on this rock that you just said, right? Or who you are.
On this truth.
On this
reality,
truth. Yeah,
yes.
exactly. So, like, but like, it's not in the Old Testament anywhere, as far as I understand. Is it a translation thing that there is a word that would have been similar to this in Hebrew, that it's just translated into church because it's now Greek that's being translated because it's a New Testament book? Like, what's happening here? Because it confused me.
Yeah.
Dan, do you start first?
Well, I'm going to say Jesus has been spending all his time talking about the kingdom.
Agreed. Yep.
You know, preaching
a lot
kingdom,
in 3
kingdom.
chapters prior.
So I think just context is just that's what he's there about. I mean, I can't tell you I haven't done
and that's fair.
word
Yeah.
study on it in
Right.
recent years. But that'd be my first initial thought, that it's the context of everything he's been teaching and preaching, and that's a big moment there.
Yeah,
you
right.
know, they're where there are altar temples to Pan, the god
Yep.
Pan. You know, all these
Right.
sexual, like, the worst of the worst is happening right in front of their eyes
Right.
there, and he's like, the kingdom's going to come and it's going to blow this all up.
Right.
You know, and so I'm thinking that's this thing that we're building. That's what he's talking about.
Okay.
I think in the context they would have understood that.
Gotcha.
That's
Okay.
my
Yeah.
simple answer.
I think it's less of a translation issue. The Old Testament didn't need a word for it.
Right.
Right, like it talked. They thought of themselves, like, contextually, they were a nation of people.
Yes, exactly, right,
And
yeah.
so, like, there was no reason to say a church, right? Because, like, really, the reference is primarily you're talking about a community of believers under a common set
Yes,
of beliefs, and like the nation of Israel itself would have been that. So there
Right.
was not a reason to talk about that. And even when they did, like, think of after the exile, you're talking about a remnant, like, but you're still talking about a remnant of a group of people.
Still known. Yeah. Right.
Yes. And so I think it's not in the Old Testament simply because there was no reason. There wasn't a context to which you would need to refer to it that way. Now, what Jesus is, in Jesus' scenario, he's calling out something that is different. It's distinct, right?
Yeah.
Like the community of people who are otherwise founded and bound together by the reality that he just said.
Yeah.
That's that's that community, the ecclesia, the community or church, if you want to talk about it that way.
Right.
And so, like, ignore church, like building, like whatever.
Right.
You're talking a community of followers bound by this reality is the foundation of how that community is defined.
Right.
And that's what he's referring to as the church. And so I think that's
Gotcha. Okay, that makes sense. And I mean, it works within the context of, like, essentially the kingdom building that Jesus has been doing and setting apart, like, what is it, the major discourses of Matthew that exists, where it's like, what is Jesus talking about? Like, this is societally how you act in the kingdom. This is how you act to your family in the kingdom. This is how you act to non-believers in the kingdom. Like, there's a lot of, for lack of a better term, world building, if you will, of, like, this is how my Father's kingdom will run. It's exactly how this is going to go. So it does make sense. It just, like I said, I was just slowly reading it. It was the first time I stopped and thought to myself, like, that's the first time I've seen the word church at all.
And he's talking future there. I will build my...
And right, exactly. And that's why I was thinking, I was like, I wonder if there's, like, I don't know if there's side conversations that obviously happen that we don't have recording of.
Sure.
That, like, Jesus may have said this at some point in time. It was just never recorded in the gospel that way. Of... Exactly. You, as you say, Peter, on this rock I will build my church. And it's like, oh, okay, that kind of makes sense where we're at. But did that mean anything to Peter at that time? Like, did it hit the same way that it hits us? It was my question. So.
Yeah. And I think to reiterate, it was important to call out that is the foundation, because that is the fundamental split with Judaism at the time. Right. And so, like, this, we are clear. This is distinct. This is the thing that which will bind and define this new community going forward.
That makes sense. Okay, fair enough. Yeah, that was my question there.
Okay, good. Hey, if you've got an Ask the Pastor, hit up that Life from the Path complaint line, and we'd love to be able to see if we can't narrow it out for you. All right, let's give some advice.
Dear Life from the Path, I'm in a book club I started with friends 13 years ago. The 12 of us have grown close and value, appreciate, and respect each other. I recently invited a childhood friend to join. She's an avid reader. Live from the path, although she's a nice person, she simply does not fit in with the group. She talks too much, tends to brag a lot, and makes insensitive comments. An example, 2 of us are leaving on a cruise soon, and she shared how tacky and claustrophobic she thinks those trips are. The rest of the group was appalled, and I feel awful that I introduced her into my longtime book club. On the other hand, I cannot fathom telling my childhood friend the group would prefer she not attend. I am sure it would be hurtful. A few of us are hoping you will have a solution. Please help.
A solution. Well, she's made it clear that nobody's welcome. It's their long-term. They've been doing this forever. It's a very closed circle.
Yeah.
And they're trying to. I mean, it was really nice of her to think she could invite. So I think at this every small church out there, there's like, hey, we're going to bring someone in, and they talk like they want to bring people in, but then when someone comes in, they're all like, people are looking at them like, well, you don't belong here. Why are you here? And it's the body language and tone of voice and all this stuff kind of tells them, I don't really belong here, and they leave. And that's kind of what they've done to this poor friend of hers.
I'm also interested to hear what kind of brags this woman is doing. Is it book-based brags? Is it like, oh, I read 30,000 pages last month. What did you do, Broomhilda?
I got through the Pride and the Prejudice.
I have a signed copy.
I know that offensive, the thing they were offended at,
cruises are. Yeah, I mean, I can see why someone would make the connection, but maybe the gal was just like, I don't like cruises.
It's a relationship problem.
It very easily could have been like, hey, man, I love French toast. It's my favorite thing on the planet. One of you guys goes, man, French toast is the worst.
Their circle is threatened.
Why would I not want waffles?
Yes.
Why would I not want waffles?
That's right.
And I go, how dare you?
You should be able to disagree without being offended.
How dare you
Friends
speak
can.
about the claustrophobia of French
If
toast?
Mildred didn't have said the same thing, it'd be okay. It'd be like, oh, yeah, you're right.
Your 13-year, 12-person book club, which is, I mean,
wonderful.
Good on you for keeping that together for 12 years.
Nothing wrong, yeah.
But
that's the same time we've roughly been doing the show. 13, actually.
Yeah. And
can you imagine bringing someone else in here? We'd be all like, yeah. We're going on a cruise. Oh, yeah, stupid.
I'm going to be honest. If either of you said I'm going on a cruise soon, I would sit there and go, I get super claustrophobic on ships. And very, very, very seasick constantly.
I don't even understand the claustrophobia. I mean, you're in the wide ocean.
Well, you're in a cabin, though.
Well, get out
of there. You
really
can't get in the ocean.
Stand on the deck. Look around a bit.
I simultaneously have agoraphobia and claustrophobia. I can't be involved in open spaces or closed spaces. I need this to be a real Goldilocks zone. Where's the poop dick?
All right, so would we recommend that she, for the benefit of the friend, say, look, it's not working out. It's not you, it's us? Because that's embarrassing.
It's not you, it's us.
If
this is your childhood friend, can you have a conversation with her?
Here's what I think. I think she needs to have a conversation with the other 12 and say, you know what, guys, let's just lighten up. Let's open up here a little bit, and this is hard. It's always been our little group, but let's do what we can.
Yeah.
And
I feel like everybody has a couple groups of friends that just they don't mix. You
know
what I'm saying? They don't cross lines. And you found a way to navigate through both areas of friendships. But if this guy met this guy, you don't think this is going to be a mega friendship. You go, this is going to be a disaster.
Yeah.
We're just two different operations. And so really, this is your fault. You've known your friend. If your friend is blurting out in a group of 12 people that she barely knows, tacky references and insulting people, there's no way you did not know that ahead of time.
This isn't the first time.
Yeah, you should have been like, I don't know if these ladies are going to take this in right,
You're probably in your 60s, and if this is a childhood friend, this might have been 40 plus years of friendship.
Yeah.
Ethel.
Yeah.
To Dan's point, though, I think it's worth at least one shot to try to call this group into some introspection and say, look, are we not being our best selves here because we're just too used to being around each other?
There's probably a good book that could teach them something on that.
Yes, that's right. How to win friends and influence people.
Absolutely true.
And influence Mildred.
Yeah, exactly.
Win friends and kick Mildred out of the book club.
I mean, have you ever had, in your children, when they have, a sleepover or something, and they bring in friends from two parts of their worlds, and they come in and it's a disaster?
Yeah.
I mean, we've had that, and it's just let's not bring those in at the same time.
That's right. Don't mix these people.
Right.
We're having a party, though. It's that was not a party. That was a cry fest. It's
Uh-huh.
So it never changes. They're just 60 years later.
So the question was, let's see. A few of us are hoping that you will have a solution.
Yes, we do. Change your ways.
You could have a conversation on both sides. To the 12 apostles with you and to your lady friend.
What are you going to say to the lady friend?
I feel like if you've been friends since childhood, and she's come in doing this kind of stuff.
Is that the sense?
It says childhood friend.
Okay, I got it. Okay.
I mean, you could, that's the thing is like it just depends on your level of friendship, right? Like if Boova showed up and blew up a room
Right.
of my people, like there's no way I would hesitate saying, "Hey, man,
I would
like,
fully expect you to.
they were super excited about that cruise, and you called it tacky. Like that's kind of rough, you know? Like where'd that come from?" I mean, you could just pick an example and say, "What was that about?" Well, I do think they're tacky. Well, I mean, you barely know these people, and they don't they don't know that like you actually still love them. You basically just crapped all over their vacation. That was
They get joy out of something, and you went, "I don't. That's stupid."
Yeah, I mean that's a cheese grater, man.
But if you do not give someone a chance to change, it's not a friendship. It's an audition, right? Like so like everybody who should be able to fail and screw up in any given situation at least once without any particularly firm repercussions. You have to give people a chance to change. Otherwise, they're there to serve you,
Right.
And so you should recognize that you're behaving that way.
Because honestly, we have this conversation in the church all the time. We encourage people to get into small groups, so they have small groups, and then those people have shared experiences. So then you have these little pods of people that sit around. So if someone else comes in and they're not invited, they feel excluded from all the little pods.
Right. Yep.
And we're always telling people, open up your pod, let people in.
Right, yeah.
Stop being a jerk.
Right.
Yeah, you just have to keep reminding them, and they're all like, "Yeah," they'll agree and smile and nod. Yes, we must be welcoming. But then their body language, they circle up, and the people on the outside trying to get in, and
It's so uncomfortable when we have to bring somebody in.
I don't want to bring someone in. We can talk about our Taco Tuesday last week. And they didn't experience that with us, and they have years of books that they've done together, and they just got to mature and let the new friend in.
Yep.
All right, Secular says, how about being completely honest? Tell your childhood friend that if she wants to remain a member of the book club, she'll have to brag and talk less and refrain from making insensitive comments. If she asks what you mean by that, repeat the example you shared with me. Postscript.
Don't let her be yourself.
Yeah.
Now here's the thing.
Postscript.
She's new. She's new to this group.
Postscript, I say.
What do you mean? Oh, there's more?
Oh, wait, what?
Oh, sorry.
Postscript. While I can understand why the two of you who are going on the cruise might have been shocked into silence, it would have been better if those two had spoken up and confronted your friend about why she would volunteer something so negative.
I didn't think it was that bad.
Yeah, couldn't you say, "Oh, I'm sorry you don't like cruises"? We do.
I don't know. Some people that go on cruises, that's like half their identity. Like it really is.
That's
They're
a personal problem, I guess.
Yeah, agreed. I'm just saying, like, I've known some people that, like, it's their whole life that they're like, "Oh, I'm
And good for them.
all I am is in between cruises."
Yeah.
Like, that's fantastic. I'm super excited for you. I'll never go on a cruise, but I'm not going to tell you that.
I guess if this person is new to the group, like I would just build in some brag. They're trying to make a good impression. They don't know the level. Like that's what people tend to do. You meet someone like you should always take someone's braggadocio the first gate out and go. Maybe they're just trying. They don't know where the level is and they want to look good, and so they're overdoing it. If it happens the third time, okay, then I think you have a different conversation. But like just they're probably nervous and they know they're walking into a group which they don't know all these people. And they're just probably not going to get it right. So, like, I suppose I need to know, is this just small interactions or, like, has this been going on for 6 months now and you can't figure out what to do with it?
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
I always like to, in a brand new situation, I always like to talk to people as if I've known them forever and then see how it shakes out. And it has gone very poorly in some situations, and or we've made, like, instant friendship.
Yeah, right.
And so, like, maybe she's just doing that, right? I would have said if Ben's like, "Hey, I'm going on a cruise," I'm like, "What the heck? That's a stupid waste of money," right? Like, I would definitely have said something like that to my friend that I've known forever. And so, like, maybe she just kind of misfired,
There's also something to be taken in. Like, this is definitely. I don't believe that this is a group of old fellas. I think this seems to be a group of old ladies, and I can only imagine the cost of entrance to get into an old ladies group that they have been friends for 12 years or 13 years or whatever, and then the childhood friend of one of the long-standing members essentially auditioning to be among the 13, right? Like, that's a huge cost of entrance. You're absolutely right. There's a lot of friggin' braggadocio into that. I'm going to show up and tell you exactly how great I am and why I should be here.
And why
We're
I'm such good friends with
right, exactly,
Margot.
yes. Yeah, I'm at an executive level interview right now. Like, I'm not interviewing at a call center job. Like, I'm showing up with everything I friggin' got.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah,
yeah.
she's probably a little nervous and all that stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, Larry, last
Here we
one.
go.
Okay.
Dear Live from the Path, where is the line and how can I find it between not judging someone and holding them accountable for their behavior? I know every situation is different, but is there some general guidance you can offer?
That is the most sincere question I've ever heard from Dear Life from the Path.
Yeah.
Maybe if your goal is to help them improve their life and grow, as opposed to just knock them down, I think that seems to be a difference.
Yeah,
That
love.
comes to mind.
Yeah, I would say a lot of it has to do with your attitude. So
Motivation and yeah.
like holding someone accountable. Here's the thing: you're not I don't care who you are. You're not a heavy, especially if you're talking adults. Like you have no means. You can't enforce any consequences on anybody, right? And so the best you can hope to do is encourage them to do something on their own, because you cannot force them to do it. And so a lot of times when we say hold them accountable, we mean like be a jackwagon.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh, hey, you're supposed to read your Bible 5 times this week. Did you do it? No, I made 4. Well, you're failing. How do you feel about your failures? Right? Like it's just like, and it's much different than going,
Did you know you're failing?
It's there's a difference between helping someone, finding ways to encourage them, give them reminders, suggestions. Hey, checking in. How's your Bible reading going? Is much different than, are you screwing it up like you were last time? When are you going to get tired of feeling so disappointed in yourself and get it better? You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of times, even in Christian circles, our accountability looks like we're working on God's behalf as his like sidemen with the bats and the clubs. And like I just it works every once in a while in moments for certain people, but it is not sustainable. What people need sustainably is encouragement. They need to know that even when they sucked at something, that like you're not going anywhere, and that you believe that they can accomplish the thing that they want, not the thing that you want on their behalf. Yeah. And so I would be just it's not implicit on how you frame the question, but a lot of time where things go awry on accountability is U-turn is like their fealty stops being to Jesus and it starts being to this conversation with you. And that's the thing you want to stay out of, because you're not going to be with them all the time. And frankly, your things that need to point to King Jesus need to stay pointing at King Jesus.
Yeah, accountability is permission-based anyway, right? Like, they have to ask for it.
Right.
Like, there are levels of accountability that don't include you, like, verbally berating people and, like, bringing the consequences. Like, some people are just like, I need you to check up on me every once in a while, right? Like, and so, but accountability is permission-based. Like, to Ben's point, though, like, it has a lot to do with the motivation of the person that you're talking about, right? Like, if they want to change and they're asking for your help, you have an invitation to speak into their life, and that's fine. If their behavior is causing hurt or pain or something that you can't sustain, right? Like that you can't hold over. Like, everybody gets to screw up, and everybody gets to have in and outs. But like if the weight of their choices is affecting you in a way that you cannot sustain it, then like you're not judging anymore. You're just letting natural consequences play out, right? And so that's not judgment either. Like, the Bible's pretty clear. It's like, judge not lest you be judged. Like, God gets to call the balls and strikes here, right? But he's laid out a framework for freedom. And so by encouraging them, all you're doing is pointing them to freedom. You're saying, look, this is where the freedom is. I hear what you're saying, but that still chains, right? Like, you're encouraging towards freedom. And accountability is the same way, right? Like, accountability can work that way too. It's like, hey man, I'm worried that I'm gonna walk by the chains and see them differently today or see them differently in a couple days than I'm seeing it right now. Will you remind me what freedom looks like in a couple days? Just send me a text or something, And so, like, accountability first of all, accountability is asked for, and so that's permission based. And as far as judging goes, we don't got any authority to be judging other people, but you do have the mind that God gave you to be able to allow consequences to bear themselves out. And so if that means that, like, you have to change the way you interact with them, or you have to, like, let their consequences land on them because of a choice that they've made, right? That's not necessarily punitive or judgy. That's just what it is, you know?
And I think that's the distinction, right? Like even don't judge lest you be judged. Like, I mean, the Bible's very clear. You're calling people to discernment. So like you are making judgment calls, but like what it's trying to keep you from doing is like you were supposed to look at people with hope. The problem with judging the way that was trying to get at was you've placed someone in a bucket as if they cannot, like that is them and they cannot move from it. It was failing to look at people with hope.
Yeah.
Because Jesus doesn't fail to look at people with hope.
Yeah,
and it's like that was the thing that humans can't handle very well. You're supposed to have discernment and you're supposed to look at people with a level of hope and opportunity. And it is not your gig to go, dude's lost forever. Love Ben.
Yeah.
That's the foul.
And like as much as you think that you can probably handle that one, you're a phony. You can't do it anyway. And to Dan's point, like your body language will give you away. Or the way that you approach the conversation or the way that you duck the conversation. Like all these things are like can be taken in by human senses to know that it's not actually comfortable. Your words are not as convincing as you believe them to be. And so your heart posture has to be different where you're approaching people with hope in a way that says, you know, even if you know things about, like Christianity struggles with this so hard, right? Like you know people are like choosing to walk in chains and they've made their whole life decision based on chains. And you're like, and all you see is the chains. Right. And all God sees is the freedom. That's not fair. That's not completely true. But like God sees the situation for what it is. But like all God is offering is the freedom. Like he's not walking around offering condemnation. He's walking around offering freedom. And so like that, if our posture is like that, then actually this question is moot. You don't have to worry about either one. All right. Secular says, when you judge another person, it implies that you hold yourself above them. By judging someone, you are not necessarily holding that person accountable. Holding someone accountable doesn't necessarily mean you're judging the person, but rather establishing a boundary you feel shouldn't be crossed.
I mean, that's a judgment. But they're, to your point, Mike, they're agreeing. They're saying, hold me accountable to this thing.
Yes.
But really, again, if you think of it in a healthy way, what really they should be saying or what you should hear there is not make me do this thing. It's like I'm asking for your help for me to remember the motivation I had in this moment.
Yeah.
And to remember the reasons of which I'm doing these things, which means those are positive reminders. Hey, man, I was supposed to exercise 3 times this week. I've only done it once. And someone goes, hey, I'm just reminding you, like, you wanted this. You felt like it was important for your health. And so I just want to remind you, like, that's what you had said to me. And so I'm reminding you that you said that was important to you. Do you want me to go on a run with you today? Or something, right? That's a way you can hold people accountable. But, like, what are you going to do? If they say, oh, I don't really want to, you're going to run for them. You're going to grab their legs and make them walk. Like, you cannot force it. And so stop acting like often that seems silly, right, that you would do with your arms. But how many times are we trying to do that with our voice? We're using our voice to shove them down the street so they walk a few steps or to eat the different thing or to stop smoking or whatever it is you're trying to stop doing. And so, like, it doesn't seem as bad to use your voice, but like it's often demotivating, to be honest with you. Like the accountability that comes with a heavy human hand is just demotivating to people. Like you want sustainable motivation, and you get it by encouraging them and being that you can't run dry. That like even when they've lost all their motivation, you're there going, no, I think you can do it. Let me go with you. Let me help you go pick out some groceries. Let's throw the cigarettes away.
Do you think that it's unfair? Because, like, I feel like I've categorized, like, heaven and hell this way before. You know, where I've said, like the Bible uses judgment language, and I will generally break it down to just consequences of choices.
Yeah.
Right. Like, and so, like, is that too soft of a rendering? Right. Like, is the Bible is using judgment for a reason, as if it carries right, because it does carry a punishment connotation to it.
That's a natural consequence. You chose forever to be absent of God and his attributes, and the description of God's missing attributes are darkness and forever torment and absence of his hope.
Yeah.
And so that's a natural consequence to saying that God can go pounce.
Not a cheapening of the way that the Bible talks
No,
about it.
Again, like I think sometimes the people look for that because they want to use it as the threat, as if that's the motivator. And be honest with you, like sometimes a stark reality really shakes a man up. Like I've been in some situations where like I was probably encouraging some guy for 9 or 10 months in something, And like finally, I collected evidence of the impact of how he was behaving, and I sent it to him. Where every other time I talked to him over the last 9 months was like, dude, it's just a blip in the road, man. Your forever can change this morning. I know, like, God's working on this in you. I need you to let him. And like it just up hills and valleys. And then there's one thing where I thought, he needs to see this. He needs to see the impact of what this is doing. And so I showed it to him. And then, frankly, things have been, I wasn't my miracle or anything, but like to see it come back from somebody else and go, oh, right. He wasn't seeing it in that light. And then things helped change for him a little bit. And so like the realities of an eternal separation from God, this isn't, you better follow Jesus or this is what you're going to get. The thing is that like what you're doing, this is the end. This is what you're building. Are you sure this is what you want to build?
Yeah.
Because again, like Jesus is not going to force you to spend forever with him. No one wants to spend forever in heaven with a guy who don't want to be there. And so, but do you realize that you think that there's a third, fourth, fifth, 50th way of which you get to be without God as an attributes and have it not be terrible? And that's where you're mistaken. And like, that's just a fact. That's a communication issue. But I'm not going to go, dude, you better follow Jesus. Otherwise you're going to end up in the fiery depths of hell. Because like, I'm calling them away from evil as opposed to glory. And like, Jesus is offering the glory. He needs to know Jesus. Like, again, same premise, actually. You don't want to be in heaven forever with a guy who goes, look, I don't even know if I want to be here. I just know that I didn't want to go to Jersey. I didn't want to be there. And so that's why I'm here. Just tell me where the salad bar is. Like, what's not a forever that anybody wants?
Hey, I haven't asked the pastor, is there a salad bar in heaven?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, that's a slam. That's a guarantee.
It's next to the hoo-ha.
The prime rib has the same caloric intake as a salad because the Lord loves you.
I don't know if this is just telling of me being a little fat Christian kid some time ago, but I had a legitimate thought in my mind for years that there was going to be a McDonald's buffet in heaven. Like, that was a real part of my childish theology. That was like, I'm super excited to meet my family members by the Fanta fountain that's at the all-you-can-eat McDonald's buffet.
A lot of people are there because
Jesus
of McDonald's. They might as well.
That's
I just like, I had completely figured it out. I was like, Jesus loves me, and he knows I love Mickey D's. Why would he not give me my own personal McDonald's buffet?
Meet my family at the Fanta Fondue.
Exactly.
Forever with Jesus.
Like, he's gonna love me. I'm gonna open those gates, and he'd be like, Big Mac, buddy. And then there's no calories in heaven.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry about that.
You've been listening to Live from the Path. Thanks for hanging out with us so far. I guess for the whole evening. We're cutting a trail here. Make sure, again, go hook up with Jeff Arrandale's socials. See him at the show. And if you do see him, say, hey, man, I heard about you on Live from the Path. We get a little rep out there that people say, hey, going on Live from the Path brings in the people.
Yeah. And
so just go ahead and say that. Also, if you go to the McDonald's or the Texas Roadhouse, you should go, hey, I heard about this. They were talking about it on Live from the Path. That's fine, too. Because if we could get some free rolls or something, that seems good.
Actually, just about anywhere that's not nefarious, you should say that.
Yeah.
I heard you go on a cruise.
Yeah.
We talked about cruises.
Yeah, that's right.
Carnival Cruise Line. I heard about you guys on this show called Live from the Past.
Yeah. Yeah, you should do that. Just go ahead and name drop it. We talk about all kinds of things. I'm sure we talked about it every gas station.
We've hashtagged like Taylor Swift. We took a part of that like Eagles thing that happened that one time by putting the eagle head or the puppet on the microphone. Right. We ride waves here. Yeah. That's what we do.
We're in on it. So anyway, do that. Also, let us know what you think of the show. You rate the show on your favorite podcast app. Share it if you want to. Go ahead and take the old link on the podcast application you got and share. And just post it on Facebook and say, I listen to these fellas every once in a while. Don't judge me. That's fine. Mm-hmm. That's fine. Put that on out there. In the meantime, we're going to put a show together here pretty soon. Next week after, I'm not sure. But in the meantime, be faithful in the means. God will handle the ends. You've been listening to Live from the Path. Hey, this isn't the standard tune. What is this? No one else can hear this, right? This is just me. It feels like something weird's happening in my mind. Take it in, Boova.
Sounds like a Creed song. It no longer sounds
I regret
like a Creed
this.
song.
I'm mesmerized by it.
I really am.
It's like a tractor beam.
What is this?
Pillow. It's by the same guy who sings our normal tune.
Oh, it just switched. This sounds like menacing video game music from 1982.
Or like you're about to be attacked by a string of killer Christmas trees.
This is very Clockwork Orange. Oh,
You'll pay. Something like that. That's the thing. Boom.
I hate that so much. What is this, a jazz odyssey and
Now
a
here's-
fever dream?
I would apologize for wasting your time, but you're still listening. This is a personal. You've chosen this.
It's like the end of Deadpool 3, or Deadpool 2. It's over. You gotta go.
Okay, we got.
You gotta.
I thought something crazy was going to happen just then.
The anticipation is killing me. Oh,
Hey,
okay.
hey,
Now we sound right.
hey.
There it is.
Okay then. The
Okay.
funk bass is kicked in.
Now we can leave.
You're welcome. You've been listening to Live from the Path. Dig that funky action, and we'll see you next week. Yeah, that really turned around.